Hey, brother, my name is Coach LJ. I mentor teenage boys around Australia. I used to coach men. I've lived quite a life. I was an aspiring rugby league player. I've worked in construction for 20 years. I've owned businesses, gyms, and I've had, my fair share of ups and downs, good and bad, terrible and great. And I guess what makes me a good mentor to teenage boys is that I've lived through it all. I've got through it all. I managed to find myself a path through all the chaos and get through the other side and become a man that I can be proud of, that my wife can be proud of, and that my children today can be proud of. Now, if we rewind it back like 15 years, totally different story. I was in construction. I had to retire from rugby in Queensland when I was 19. I snapped my ankle really bad on the field, and that was it. I spent, I guess, the good part of over a decade creating this big identity of aspiring rugby league player, wanting to make it to the NRL, to one day having a career-ending injury. All right, found myself into construction, and it was a hard world. Having rugby league taken right out of my life, that big identity, to then starting at the very bottom in construction was tough. It was a world back then where it was hard. Like, you worked hard, you play hard, you trained hard. Well, you drank hard, not so much train hard. And it's very easy to lose yourself if you don't know who you are. All right. And that's what happened to me. I lost myself because a big part of my life, a big part of my identity was gone. Rugby league, right? Um, but what was left was the anger. Rugby league was good for me because I used it as my outlet to just, in a sense, kill people on the field. I loved to hurt people. Um, and I guess the things that I experienced throughout my life, rugby league was my outlet because I could just unleash everything on the field. Rugby league taken away, I start drinking, I start doing drugs, and before you know it, I'm fighting a lot. Okay. To the point where, I started waking up and really just pondering who the hell I was. Where was my life going now? And, you do this enough times, you start thinking, when are things going to change? Is this how I'm going to live the rest of my life? Waking up with blood on me, not knowing what happened the night before, wondering who in camp or who outside of these doors, when you're living in these small boxes in construction, FIFO, like, who was it that I fought? What the hell happened? And, I guess that was the catalyst of change for me. I did that so many times, and I started to look around at the types of men I was hanging out with, and I was like, do I want to be the 40, 30, well, the 40 or 50-year-old guy that's still at the bar, still talking about the same shit, still living the same patterns and behavioral stuff, and not really improving himself or progressing? Okay. And, one day I wanted to be a good husband. One day I wanted to have children. But the path that I was on 15 years ago, there's no way my wife today would put up or tolerate that type of person. There's no way that my children today would be turning out the way they are today without myself going through the path of figuring out who the hell I am. All right. Now, mentoring, how I mentor teenage boys is, look, there is a missing link. In today's society, we are saying boys turn 18 and they become a man. All right. There's no more village, there's no more tribe, there's really no more initiation. And that's what is stuffing up, man, manhood, masculinity, because we expect boys to get to the age of 18 and we have this big expectation on them that, hey, you should have it figured out. You're a man, you're 18, go sort your business out. Now, the problem with that is that without proper guidance, boys are lost. These men who look like men are actually still boys, but living as men because people can see them and assume that, oh, he's a grown ass man, sort yourself out. But he's still a boy. He hasn't been through that initiation, and he struggles. All right. So, this warrior phase, boy, warrior, king, the warrior phase is missing. And this warrior phase is what I bring back into my mentoring. The boy is very dependent on mum. very dependent on dad if dad is even in the picture. All right. The boy phase is, he's uncertain, he's unruly, he's can be lazy, and he just wants things done for him. He wants things done easy. He wants the easy life, right? Now, the warrior phase that prepares you to become a man or prepares you to become the king, I'll get into that soon, is about discipline. It's about responsibility. It's about accountability. It's the training ground for you to fail, for you to figure out who you want to become, for you to find out what you're passionate about. This warrior phase is very important in order for you to know who you are, what you stand for, and the type of man that you want to develop into. Without the warrior phase, we have men who look like men but are still boys on the inside. And that is where we're going wrong. Okay. Now, the king phase, the king isn't someone who has dominion over others. The king is someone who has dominion over him. Okay. He then becomes service for others. Now, going through that warrior phase and building up these values, these skills of, discipline, responsibility, and starting a career and seeing it through and be, whatever it may be, is the pathway of, hardship in the sense. If you keep choosing the easy path, you're going to have a hard life. If you keep choosing what is hard, your life becomes easier in the sense that this hard path that you've taken, it's shaping you, it's molding you, it's building your capacity to be able to be more resilient and take on more challenges. Okay. If you keep taking the easy path, you're avoiding challenges, you're avoiding hardship, which means that you're always looking for something that's easy. And when you always get something that's easy and you haven't earned it, you struggle for a very long time. Okay. Because you're avoiding these hard pathways of growth and trying to stay on the easy lane, which is very stagnated. Okay. Now, when you get to the king path, when you get there, it's all about service. You know who you are. You are unshakable. You've been tested through the warrior phase. You know exactly who you are. All right. And that is what I mentor with teenage boys. This new YouTube channel, hey brother, it's just about conversations. About me having conversations with you, conversations that all boys need to have, conversations that many boys aren't having, conversations that, you know, fathers aren't having with their sons. And there's many sons out there that their fathers aren't present. Maybe their father's passed away. Maybe their father doesn't want anything to do with them. There's also fathers out there that are disconnected, that are disengaged. And there's also sons out there that possibly their mothers are keeping their fathers away from them. Whatever the situation, whatever the situation, it sucks either way. If there is a good man wanting to be in your life who can influence you in a good way, whether it be, maybe a sporting coach, a school teacher, whatever it may be, find the lessons from him, take it on board, and allow it to grow you. Okay. These conversations, these topics that I bring up are important for your journey. All right. This is episode 1. My name is LJ. Choose a hard path, step into your warrior, and let's go. Let's make it happen.